Welcome to Mind Power, a Brains R Us program brought to you by Centerpointe Research Institute. In these special episodes, you'll hear thought-provoking articles designed to expand your mind, useful tips to improve your life, and the latest neuroscience research to help you tap into your fullest potential. Now here's MaryEllen Tribby with today's Mind Power.
This week's article is Today's Kids Are Tomorrow's World Leaders, written by MaryEllen Tribby, read by Mark Yelson. I'll never forget the night I watched my oldest daughter, Mikaela, play her very last softball game of her college career. You see, it wasn't any old regular season game. Her team won their divisional playoffs and was at the NCAA playoffs. With Mikaela being a fifth-year senior at the time, she was redshirted 1 year, and about to graduate with honors with her MBA, this game was particularly sentimental. It was a real nail-biter of a game, too, as the lead would flip-flop every inning. Then it went into extra innings, and Mikaela came up to bat in the bottom of the 10th. Her team was down 1 run. There were 2 outs and a runner on first base. With 2 strikes, Mikaela hit a ball over the fence, but it was foul by about 6 inches. Keep in mind that hubby and I were watching the game on TV. The game was in New Hampshire, and we live in Florida. Still, the groans we heard from the stands were deafening. After all, if that ball was just 6 inches to the right, it would have been game over. Her team would have moved into the World Series, and Mikaela would have been a hero. Okay, next pitch, she hits a drive that definitely would have driven in the tying run. But the other team's second baseman made an incredible play and threw Mikaela out at first base instead. It was game over, as was Mikaela's 16-year softball career. Yep, this kid had been playing softball since she was 6 years old. Tears flooded my eyes as hubby, Delaney, my youngest, and I stood there in disbelief. Finally, Delaney asked why I was crying. I tried to explain that I was so sad for Mikaela that it was a hard way for her to end her softball career. In that minute, Delaney started listing all her sister's college accomplishments, including her graduating with 2 degrees, both times with honors. Also, it was Mikaela's walk-off hit her freshman year that won them the NCAA title and took them to the World Series. My eyes dried and my heart expanded as Delaney went on to remind us of all the awards Mikaela had won over the years, both academically and athletically. And she nailed it when she spoke about all the work Mikaela had done with her Team Impact. You see, Team Impact is a wonderful organization that tackles the emotional trauma and social isolation experienced by children facing serious and chronic illnesses by matching them with a college athletic team. Through therapeutic programs that complement their medical treatments, children develop relationships and skills that help them complete the full circle of healing. Mikaela had been a fellow for 4 years and got the very first match for Long Island and for her softball team, Penelope. Penelope was just 5 when she joined the Malloy College softball team. She is nonverbal and does not walk. She would only let her parents hold her. That is, until Mikaela showed up in her life. Today, she is thriving with the girls' team. Penelope's face lights up when Mikaela enters a room and she holds up her arms so Mikaela will pick her up. As Delaney continued listing Mikaela's accomplishments, I was so proud of her for being so proud of her big sister. And frankly, I was proud of my husband and myself. We had done our job and done it well. As I went to bed that night, I kept thinking, what are the most important things we as parents need to teach our children? What characteristics do they need in life to not only be ultimately successful in their adulthood, but for them to thrive, be happy, and enjoy their journey? Here's what I came up with, and they are not your usual list. These are the 7 most important characteristics to instill in our kids. Kindness. Teaching our kids to be kind literally helps the world become a better place. When you acknowledge and encourage kindness, it actually becomes the norm. Recently, I watched my 20-year-old son Connor drive away from our house. I was surprised to see him pull over and stop the car just a few houses down the street. When I realized why, my smile took over. He stopped at an elderly neighbor's house because she was bringing in her trash can from the end of her driveway. He stopped to do it for her. Resilience. You've heard the saying, life is not about what happens to you, it's about how you react to it. The day after Mikaela's game, it would have been easy for her to stay in bed and feel sorry for herself. Instead, she was up early, researching what books she was going to need for her first semester of law school in the fall. We need to let our kids know that there will be disappointments in their lives, and that's okay. We need to help them understand that it's the disappointments that help them grow and become stronger. A lust for learning. We need to teach our kids that every time they learn something new, it is a gift and a way to improve their lives and the lives of others. We also need to teach them that learning comes in so many forms. Clearly, Mikaela loves higher education. After graduating with her MBA, she is now attending New York Law School. Connor was done with college after just one semester, yet he is a budding entrepreneur and a voracious learner. Selflessness. This one is key and needs to be instilled at a very young age. We need to teach our kids that other people's needs matter. When Mikaela's softball team won their divisional playoffs and we found out they were going to the NCAA playoffs, we were thrown a curveball, no pun intended. You see, the day the team needed to leave campus in Long Island and drive to New Hampshire was the exact same day of her graduation ceremony. And clearly, she could not be in two places at once. Yes, she was disappointed, especially since last year's ceremony for her undergrad degree was canceled. Even though she was looking forward to this year's ceremony, walking across the stage and being handed her diploma, there was never any doubt in her mind about not giving up that big moment in her life to be with her team. Curiosity. I always cringe when I hear a child ask a question and the parent's response is, "Because I said so." We need to encourage curiosity, not discourage it. When it's discouraged, a young person's imagination is being squashed, not expanded. As the famous inventor and pilot Orville Wright once said, the greatest thing in our favor was growing up in a family where there was always much encouragement to intellectual curiosity. Respectfulness. This is such a major one. Years ago, I devoted an entire essay to it. We must teach our children to respect all people, places, customs, traditions, etc. The beautiful thing about teaching respect is that it can and should be done by example. Self-worth. Very early on, I let my kids know that no one was more important than them. Yes, people were famous, but they were just as worthy. In order for your kids to have self-worth, you need to have self-worth and truly believe it. And you do this by making yourself a priority. Teach your kids to be a leader, not a victim. The day after the game, hubby was on speakerphone talking to Mikaela. I heard him say, "This isn't the end. This is just the beginning for you, kid." Her reply was simple. "Yeah, it is." Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this article, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be well.
This episode of Brains R Us is brought to you by the My HoloSync app, the only official app for HoloSync. Enjoy quick daily brain-enhancing meditations, long-form HoloSync radio stations for up to 8 hours of continuous brainwave states, easily access all of your HoloSync suites and courses, and listen to more Brains R Us podcast episodes, all from your favorite device. Head on over to holosync.app/podcast26 right now to claim a free 7-day premium trial, no credit card necessary.